Hey guys, so another video back to you. I'm grinding right now and I got some new set that I'm willing to try out. So in this video I will be talking about Marvel Rivals again, because why not? And I thought, what's an easy way to make a Marvel Rivals video without putting too much effort in that could potentially give me a lot of views? And I thought, why not make a video for the mains that I typically choose in Marvel Rivals and explaining how I go about using them? And I thought about that. So in this video we're gonna be going over the 4 main that Manny the author used to break the game. And yeah, that's the point of this video. Intro over, let's go. So I use the main heroes I like to use are Invisible Woman, Movement, then I like to use Spider-Man, and finally Wolverine. Alright, so basically I want to start looking at some heroes real quick. Let's see. This is a guy I'm mainly my main, so that's Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Invisible Woman, and who's the last one? And right now I'm gonna go with Spider-Man, who is my main. If you kept up in the video, who are my mains? Wolverine, Spider-Man, Invisible Woman, and that last one always messes me up. Spider-Man, Wolverine, Invisible Woman, and Moon Knight. And I don't know why I chose these mains. Originally, when I got the game, I gravitated towards Moon Knight, oddly enough, and I really liked the way he threw shurikens and random bullshit. But the first character I actually tried playing when I first got the game was Spider-Man, and oddly enough, I couldn't play him because he was too complicated. And after, I don't know, just playing non-stop, look at me right now, I can just play him off just good enough, you know. Feels like I'm playing Spider-Man PS4. But one of the things I kind of like about Spider-Man is the fact that the skilling ceiling is so high that I don't have a worry in the back of my mind that as I go on more competitively, he won't get weaker over time, if that makes sense. And yeah, like I said on the video I made, I mentioned how Spider-Man is all about how he hunts enemies down. But if I'm honest, there's two ways to play him, which is the peaceful and non-peaceful way. You could totally play him as a hunter. Ooh. If you want to play him as a help over here. If you want to play him as the hunt you down type, you can, and it's kind of hard to do, but it's very possible. But at the same time, you don't have to necessarily play to kill, because the fun thing about Spider-Man is that his mobility is so crazy that if you play him right, you're never actually in any harm's way, since you can technically get out of the harm very fast. And like for example, there very easily just get out of danger. Always has a get out of jail free card, and that's the thing I like about him, that you could always be proactive, and you don't even have to necessarily aim for killing. You could aim for distraction. As long as you're taking the enemy's attention away, you're adding to the overall greater good in a way, because they're not targeting your enemy team, and because you're so hard to target. If you really played right with all your options, you could be playing this without getting touched. And if you're playing without getting touched, just getting all the enemy's attention, effectively you're just, you know, being a nuisance, a bug, flying around, zipping around with your concentrated damage, just poking at your enemy. If you can see how I'm choosing to use him in and out situations. The bad thing about Spider-Man is his low health pool. Good thing for me, I have my teammates helping me here. And yeah, DPS characters are great with healers, because healers are, to me, the thing that power the whole team going into the game. Because if no one's healing your team, how are you expected to really keep up with your performance when no one's really feeling your performance? No one's giving you that Gatorade. But yeah, Spider-Man, I got really good at aiming with his projectiles and his options where he'll use his webs to pull himself around the stage very quickly. And what's interesting about him is where his sippy thingies don't do the most damage. They do decent damage, but their aim is not to do damage. They're more for targeting. So what's interesting about Spider-Man is because he doesn't have that much easy damage options. You really have to fight and earn most of his damage. So the way that's done with him is with his abilities, the spider tracers. For example, once you kind of land one, they let you sip onto your enemy, and once you're sipping onto them, it lets you target enemies. And so that combined with the fact that he doesn't do that much extended damage, you're left to picking and weakened enemies once you kind of understand that, hey, I can target extremely efficiently to enemies that are weakened, and if I can get to kill on an enemy that's potentially everybody that's running away, I can pick out them and hunt enemies down. And yeah, that's the other way, the more aggressive way you can play Spider-Man. Now we're gonna switch over to Wolverine. Wolverine's more of a DPS that is, as the internet kind of likes to call him, a tank buster, because his damage is based on percentages. The number of, oh, that's a dead end on the match. So believe it or not, I had actually bought in the skin for the Wolverine originally because I saw the movie and I did not like the default skin, and the movie skin just looks so good. So yes, I bought it, and because of it, I had this belief that Wolverine was gonna be my main because I had spent $20 on this game. But after a while, even though I got good at him, I quickly learned that his uses were very limited. Once the internet kind of pinpointed that his strength was more of a tank buster, and yeah, now sorry, I'm trying to get the crocodile, but he's getting away. Another nifty thing I kind of picked up on him is how fast his dash actually recharges. It's like around 3 seconds last time I checked. And so you really just want to be pressing that thing as much as you can. Another quirky thing about him is how you gotta watch out for the percentage that you have in the middle. It kind of bases how your attach and damage is doing, which kind of sucks that, you know, your peak damage is never gonna be at peak till you have you're slashing into enemies. But I mean, you know, in the meantime, it's fine. Well, you that up, you could gain it from other things like slashing into the group things. But like I said, Wolverine's limited, and he's only one of my mains because of the costume and how I insisted on maining him for my money's worth. But yeah, I mean, I just look at his costume. I just like walking around as this character. One of the things, but one of the reasons why I don't main him as much, or one of the reasons why I dropped him, is because of the representation of his healing factor. Like, where is his representation? It made me want to pick up Invisible Woman. But alright, real quick, let's go over Moon Knight. I'm kind of running out of things out to say with Wolverine, but Moon Knight is, I would say he's my third dairy main after Invisible Woman. But yeah, at first he was my very first main, and why I liked him is because he was very approachable. When I first picked up Spider-Man, it was just way complicated. I didn't even understand what I was doing. But once I had Moon Knight, it allowed me to see the game for what it was. And what I noticed was the cooldown system that this game had, and I hadn't played Overwatch up to that point, so Moon Knight to me is the entry level character. I know that Punisher is supposed to be, but Punisher to me is the entry level character for regular people that play shooting games, and Moon Knight is that hero shooter, Batman alternate pick in the Marvel, where I kind of like how his gadgets are represented and Moon Knight's items or totems or whatnot, and how he drops his onks, and how the onks mark that area for the enemies to step in and go to shred him with damage. And that's fun about Moon Knight, the strategic element that his gameplay carries. If you ever feel like he's limited, those limitations are there to enhance the moments where you do score a big ass hit, because the cool thing about Moon Knight is the uh, reward versus risk level of gameplay where Moon Knight will do a lot of damage, but he's very weak because he's just a regular guy in that sense. But he is super, so he will kick the crap out of you and do a lot of damage if he strategically places himself in a way that he can maneuver the battle. And sometimes I feel like a strategist when I'm playing him because he's kind of a DPS of a strategist when you really think about it. How he's setting up areas, holding it down, areas where he can kind of mark off. And what I noticed is that you could also use it to fool your enemies where you'll set an Ankh and that Ankh will take attention away. That attention gives you a micro cost on just time to pick apart stuff. And yeah, another reason his damage scales up tremendously high. For example, one of the things I like to do is pull him out where my main's Spider-Man, but sometimes when the enemy's too bunched up and there's no one to pick out and Spider-Man's not available, I like to switch over as Moon Knight and kind of shoot over the pins because Moon Knight excels when the enemies group up together and you can kind of shoot and have that damage spread between everybody. And that's what makes him such a good counter against Loki. And that's another thing where if I'm playing Spider-Man, maybe I see a Loki and I will think, okay, I can automatically choose Moon Knight and get a lot of bang for my money. But yeah, Moon Knight, a lot of stuff. His ultimate. One of the good things about it is how it's just one of the greatest ultimates, but it's also very limited in the range. So it could be one of those ultimates where it could turn the game, or you could mess it up massively and look dumb, and there is no in between. But if you get it just right, it's not. It's different in the ultimate from what do you call it, Namor, where he'll summon that thing. We'll call this podcasting with me, Manny the author, but yeah, where instead of Namor's ultimate, where it'll just be one bang of damage, his sticks around and does some damage. But yeah, Moon Knight. I think I'm gonna move on.
Time to train. Forget how tough Spidey is.
Invisible Woman to me is that character that's always gonna be useful because she's in my case she's like the main strategist. So what's good about her is that because of her utility, you never get the sense that you're not really underperforming or overperforming, or if anything you're always overperforming because your attack essentially heals every single thing it touches and it bounces back, so it allows you to cover a wide area where you're effectively just giving out health to your entire team. What's good about that is that you can effectively carry up the ranks by not playing that aggressively and just worrying about maintaining the best excellence for your team. When it comes to the sports analogy of this game, I believe that because of the type of gameplay that you use, that being the payloads, really have to form as a unit to really get everything moving correctly. If you're defending correctly and moving and covering the positions that you're supposed to be covering, it sort of resembles that sports analogy where if you think about it like basketball, where you're always having that guy, you have him on guard and you're guarding. And so when you play as a Visible Woman, it kind of forces you to take on that leader position where you kind of feel like LeBron James, moving the team with you because of your healing and the shield and where you're shooting. You get a massive say of where everyone is in the map, and along with that you get to say you get to influence the way that the team moves because of the bubbles that inflict damage. And so now I get to dictate a large flow of the battle where I don't want you guys to pass through over here, or I want to inflict damage in this range where I can put my bubble. And along that, I'm gonna consistently be pumping my team with HP over here, and I can leave this shield wherever, constantly acting as a rejuicing gas station for my tanks in a way, you know. So what's cool about that is something that annoyed me initially was I couldn't heal myself, but if you notice, just by making the shield, you can stand by it yourself. So I got into the habit of activating the shield by somebody next to me just to heal myself by proxy. And yeah, Invisible Woman, overall, I kind of like the conceptual way that her powers represent. So the invisibility kind of being this force that on her makes her transparent, but also gives her this healing factor that she projects into the force fields and stuff, and how those force field projections heal and have the same healing properties. And yeah, I just feel like the way that they visualize the power and how they even let her passively go invisible by just attacking, just looks pretty cool. And I love the way that this game takes the advantage of the hardware to do the most exciting thing with gameplay. For example, something that I think is similar is the Doctor Strange portal, how you can spawn this perfect portal that kind of just ignores physics and coding and everything just to like make this thing work. And how Invisible Woman's invisibility allows her to basically just disappear for the enemy team completely in a state that is healing her, and how that the enemy just can't see them. And yeah, it's just, yeah, I love this game. This game is just great. And yeah, this I kind of think this video just allows me to rant over it and just get some of my thoughts from the initial video that I made. But yeah, those are my thoughts. And if you like this style video, leave a like, leave a comment. I'm working in the YouTube grind, and stay safe. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Only 60 seconds left.